For this video, we will be going over Premiere. This is one of two. This first video, think of it more as a tour. We'll be exploring the different panels in the software, and then after that, we'll dive into actually putting an edit together. So really excited about this. Thanks for being here with me throughout all these modules. Thanks for kind of dealing with my dad jokes and what you're getting is me. This is Jose, and I'm hoping that kind of helps me develop a rapport with you and helps you be invested in these modules. And I also just hope that they weren't really boring. A lot of online modules that I've worked with or that I've learned from have been a little on the sleepy side. So let's dive into Premiere. They're actually developing a Premiere Pro 2021. I'm really excited for a lot of the features that they've been teasing. And so we will open a new project. We will use our filing system. It's turned into another year since I've started these videos. So last year was 20, now we're in 2021. So the month is January. I believe the day is the 11th. And we'll give it the name Digital Marketing. Then we'll look for a location. Now I already have a project in here. I wanted to show you what it looks like. I also wanted to let you know that I did not include this project folder in our files video. This is really important. It's important to make a new project because when you save a project in Premiere, it generates these folders. This one is the real lifesaver. So you'll notice as you're working in Premiere that it will auto save itself. All of those project files are here. So these being like the earlier ones, and then these being like, or maybe it's one of these is earlier and one of these is the latest. So ideally you would click on the latest if the software ever crashed on you or if your computer turned off. No worries. As long as you have autosave set up, you can just go to the latest autosave and hopefully a lot of your edits will be recovered there. So I'm going to save this project here. And we're just going to talk about this assembly panel, this editing panel, this color panel that we're not going to get too deep into, and then the effects panel. Now, all of these videos they're really built so that you can just get started quickly. Not so that you can dive into all of the technical aspects of these Adobe softwares, but really so that you can get in there and you can start creating. So audio graphic libraries, I don't want you to really be in here unless you want to devote a few days to learning what they do and how people use them. I personally don't use them often, so we'll stick to these. Now the first thing we're going to do is import our footage. So to do that, you can double click here. And this is why file organization is super important. So you can actually select all of these and upload them to your library here, and it will create what are called bins. Funny story about bins. Back in the day when people used film, the film was organized in actual bins. And so now that everything is digital and not analog, they still call them bins, which I think it's really funny. So instead of film stock, you have your data, your digital assets, your raw digital assets. They all live in bins. So if we select all of these, I don't want this project one to be in here. Let me try select command. So I can deselect that. I don't have documents in here either, so I'm going to deselect that. So this is just going to carry over my audio. I don't have graphics for this one as well. So my audio and then my raw video. And we're going to click import. Check them out. There's our bins. So if we expand our audio, this is a track of the video that we're going to edit in the next one, and then actually this is a sound effect, and then this is the audio track, the music in the background, and then here's our raw video. You'll notice that not all of my files transferred over because they didn't have anything in them. So it only transferred over files that had actual data in it, which is really fun. Another reason why organizing your files is so important, so that you can have this ease here. Here's another option that's really important, the icon view. So if you have icon view, you can go over to your raw video, you can select your drone, and you can actually see thumbnails as soon as this all loads. Also, you can kind of drag these and make all these folders different sizes, all these panels, excuse me, different sizes. But now you can preview all the clips that we have here. This button's great as well. It sends you right back. So sometimes as you open all of these folders and bins, your project panel will get kind of messy and it'll be hard to see things. So you can always rely on this trusty back button. Love that. And so then there's editing, and show you what they all look like now that we have files. So editing's great because you can click on here, click drone. If you double click, you can preview your track in what's called the source panel. Ooh. So that's fun. And then we'll go to color. Color is kind of a similar layout. And then effects as well. This is a little different. The cool thing about effects, I like to bring this back over here for now, is all of your effects are here. Now, the only effects that you'll be using really are cross dissolve. Use the trusty search button here. Yeah, so cross dissolve, dip to black, dip to white. Basically, those are kind of those transitions where the clip either ends and fades to black, or it fades to white, or the clip fades from black into the clip or fades from white into the clip. And then there's cross dissolve where it just disappears. So it kind of like, I think the words dissipates or dissolves. Really, it just dissolves into nothing. So that is that. Those are our effects here. And then Essential Graphic, we'll get into those a little later. But we'll go over back to assembly. And we're gonna pick our raw video. Click on drone. And then when you double click here, this turns into your preview, which is fun. And so I'm going to select where I want my clip to start. This looks like smooth footage. I'm gonna click I for in. Keep dragging, select O for out. And then I'm gonna, before you have anything in your timeline, it's important to drag your file in, because it's gonna take all of the data in your file and it's going to, what is called a sequence. This is the sequence here. It's going to match the aspect ratio, the frames per second. It's gonna match all that so that your file can live in here the way it should. So that is our file. We'll preview it with spacebar. And that's our first clip. Not gonna get into that a whole bunch because we're gonna get into all these specifics a little later. But I wanted to show you first, quick glance. Then there's editing. So now see, we have something on our timeline, so we can preview on our program, and we can preview our clips that we haven't put into our timeline up here in the source monitor. So I'll actually import another video here. Let's do this. Do in, out, and then if you actually put your playhead at the end here, if you hold down shift, it'll kind of like lock it at the end. And if you click here, if you press period, it will just load it in here. So there it is. So that's cool. So we have two here. And then we'll go to color, and color is really, it's hard to do. We talked about how there's different camera profiles. This is the DJI, the drone log. And so this is a flat picture profile. What you see here is very similar to Lightroom. So you can play around with this. Similar, if you remember the Lightroom edits that I did. I want to bring the saturation in because this is a really flat photo. Bring the blacks in. It looks kind of cool, so we'll bring in some of that warmness. And voila, it's a little, if we reset it, that's what it looked like before. Go back, Command Z, and we're back in here. So that's our color grading panel. And then our effects panel, like I said, you're probably just gonna use cross dissolve or dip to black or transform. So I will select cross dissolve. I'm actually gonna put it in between these two. So you'll see all of your effects are like right here. They all live here and you can drag them onto your file. And then we have a cross dissolve. Other cool thing about this panel here is the effects controls. So if you're in editing, you can actually go into the effects controls here and you'll find yourself doing a lot of work in here. You can zoom in, you can adjust where it lives, you can rotate it as well if you shoot it kind of crooked on accident. And then you can do all sorts of other things in here. So this is our effects panel. And as you drag effects onto this, they'll show up here. So I can click on my cross dissolve and I can edit my cross dissolve. One thing I did forget to show you, if we go back, we'll start with assembly, click my back button here. We will go back again. We're gonna click audio, and then this right here is our track. So I'm actually gonna just drag it in here. And now we have music. This is how you can expand these two. Sometimes you want them to be a little bigger. We'll press play. And you'll see that the music's tracking here. Now, what's really cool about this is that it's actually at the right level, right? My teacher once told me you do not edit with your ears, you edit audio with your eyes. So when you are laying down a track, you want to make sure that the level's at 12. You don't want it to be clipping. Up here you see that it's clipping, so you bring it down. You want it to be at 12. Now if you have someone narrating like I am now, you'll want that track to be at 36. So in all these videos you probably notice that there's a background track, and that background track is there to kind of make sure these videos aren't super boring and to keep that interesting. And so you want the background track to be at 36. And then the narration, you want that at 12. So this is our little audio preview here. You'll see that it exists across all of, not sure if it's in color. Yeah, it's here in color as well. And effects is here too. Now, if any of these folders get kind of funky, or you can like drag them and put in weird places on accident, as you can see now, this is our audio level, and you can really, I don't know why they let you do this, but you can really mess things up. If that ever happens, you can go up to this little hamburger menu here and reset to save the layout, and we're back to normal. So it resets to whatever panel you were in. And so that concludes our tour. In the next video, we will get into more editing, and we will edit a whole video that we did of a trip that my friend and I took 45 minutes east from here in Mount Laguna, Cleveland National Forest. And we'll dive into that edit and talk more about how I captured it.